Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers work out 5 CFL players Monday. Pittsburgh works out several Canadian starts following its Week 15 loss. After a rough Week 15 loss, the Steelers worked out 5 players on Monday. Per NFL insider Aaron Wilson, those players were wide receivers Aho Aju and Makai Polk, as well as defensive back Tyrell Ford, defensive tackle Ralph Hawley, and punter Jake Julian. Aju played college football at Clemson and USF, logging 10 career catches for 123 yards and a touchdown. He was drafted in the 7th round of the 2024 CFL Draft by the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The 6 feet 3 inches, 218-pound receiver recorded 20 catches for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns in 12 games in 2024. Polk recorded 3 college seasons, 2 for Cal and 1 for Mississippi State. In his final season in 2021, he recorded 105 receptions, 1,046 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Polk participated in the 2022 NFL Combine, where the 6 feet 3 inches, 195-pound receiver ran a 4.59-second 40-yard dash. He went undrafted but signed with the Baltimore Ravens, later spending some time with the New York Giants. Polk spent the 2024 season with the Toronto Argonauts, where he recorded 61 receptions for 1,024 yards and 5 touchdowns in 17 games. Ford played college football in Canada before being drafted 13th overall by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the 2022 CFL Draft. He spent rookie minicamp in 2022 with the Steelers. Ford saw playing time as a defensive back and kick returner at the University of Waterloo, running a 4.42-second 40-yard dash at the CFL Combine. The 6 feet 0 inches, 200-pound defender has recorded 51 tackles and 7 interceptions through 18 games this season for Winnipeg. Hawley is a Western Michigan product, playing college football there from 2017 to 2021. His best season was his final one, where he had 39 total tackles and 6 sacks. He went undrafted in 2022, playing for the USFL's Philadelphia Stars before signing with the CFL's Toronto Argonauts in 2023. In 16 games in 2024, the 6 feet 0 inches, 285-pound defensive tackle has recorded 22 tackles and 8 sacks. Julian played college football for Eastern Michigan, where he had 221 career punts with a 44-yard average and a long of 78. He was signed by the New England Patriots in 2022 after going undrafted, never appearing in an NFL game. The 6 feet 1 inch, 227-pound punter has been the Edmonton Elks starter for the last 2 seasons, where he's punted 107 times with an average of 54 yards and long of 87. It's unlikely any of those 5 players will be in-season signings for Pittsburgh, but with the season winding down, the front office could be looking ahead to off-season futures contracts. Tom Brady to call Steelers-Ravens divisional clash. NFL legend Tom Brady will be on the call for the Pittsburgh Steelers clash in Baltimore on Saturday. Brady called the Steelers' 27-13 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles along with play-by-play man Kevin Burkhardt. The crew handling this matchup could decide who wins the AFC North. This is the second Steelers game overall this season for that crew. Usually, Steelers-Ravens would be on CBS, but with the standalone Saturday games, it instead will flip over to Fox, hence why Brady is on the call. The Steelers will be the second game that will occur on Saturday at 4:30 p.m. It will be their second game in a gauntlet of 3 playoff teams within 11 days when Pittsburgh faces Baltimore. With all of the injuries racking up, the Steelers are being tested, but they can accomplish their biggest goal of the season so far by defeating the Ravens and locking up the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers got beat by the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday by a score of 27-13. It was not a pretty game for Pittsburgh as they were dominated in nearly every phase of the game, but there were some bright spots. Chris Boswell shined as usual as he went 2 for 2 on field goals for the day, as did outside linebacker TJ Watt. Watt was going up against one of the best right tackles of all time in Lane Jhonson, and he was able to have a pretty productive day. It was a meeting of two of the best at their own position with Watt and Jhonson, and each player made the other work hard to succeed. Watt went down in the fourth quarter with an ankle injury, but up until then, he was having some levels of success against Jhonson. He recorded 2 sacks at the end of the first half, while also forcing a fumble on a scramble by Jalen Hurts. Jhonson spoke to the media after the game and shared what it was like going against Watt. "Yeah, I guess he went around the edge and then I saw him kind of like, I don't know, I don't think anything popped. But I saw him grab like the back of his knee," Jhonson said of Watt going down with an injury. "You don't want to see a player, any player, much less him, go through anything like that. Because I think he is probably the best player I've gone against." Thankfully, Watt's injury doesn't seem to be serious as it has been described as a low ankle sprain. He may even be able to return to the field in Week 16 if the coaching staff doesn't decide to keep him out for precautionary reasons. Jhonson's comments perfectly described Watt's excellence, though. The right tackle entered the league back in 2013. He has seen a lot of competition and gone against a ton of great players, but what seems to be at the top of the list, Jhonson is one of the more respected players throughout the NFL, mainly due to his tenure and consistent quality of play. Watt managed to get 2 sacks on Jhonson, but they were more on the quarterback for running around and holding the ball for too long than the right tackle. Jhonson spoke more about going against Watt. "You know, his production is always up there every year," Jhonson said. "I think his effort, I think his arsenal of moves, I think he's probably one of the most intelligent football players I've played against. I would say that. He's unbelievable. This shows the impact Watt has on a game. Even if he isn't getting to the quarterback, he is still making the right tackle work hard for an extended period of time, which will eventually be a benefit for the defense." Jhonson also spoke about how exhausted he was after the game, thanks to Watt making him work. The Steelers have a chance to clinch the AFC North in Week 16 as they prepare to travel to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Watt's status is currently up in the air and he is questionable, but head coach Mike Tomlin spoke to the media on Monday and shared that he is a bit optimistic about Watt. The coaching staff certainly doesn't want to rush Watt back onto the field, but the Steelers don't usually play well when he isn't available. Pittsburgh already has its spot in the playoffs, so it is important Watt's long-term health is prioritized. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Lane Jhonson? Leave your opinion in the comments.